Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at Lagos Continental, and I welcome you to the EB5 Information Series 2024, brought to you by Brave Icons Global in partnership with the IRUSA. Tonight, here at the red carpet, we'll gather for the Lagos Investment Dinner to explore the opportunities and the benefits of the EB5 visa program. Join us as we delve into the world of U.S. immigration and investment and discover how the EB5 program can help you achieve your goals and dreams. Also, my name is Deborah Eze, of course, for iBrandTV.
My name is Aaron Grau. I'm the executive director of IIUSA, which is Invest in the USA. It's the United States' only trade association that represents the EB5 stakeholders in the United States and really around the world.
So I was here for the last year's edition, which was really informative and impactful. I'm going to tell you the truth. So this year, I want to know, what are the significant changes that has happened from the time we had, the last series till now?
The Nigerian market, the people interested in EB5 has matured. We're seeing much more interest in Nigeria. We were in Abuja before we came to Lagos. And we're seeing the interest in EB5 and understanding how to become a U.S. citizen through the EB5 program. We're seeing it expand. So that's the biggest thing that's changed, and it's a big reason why we came back this year to continue to grow the market.
Clarify, what are some of the misconceptions about the EB5 that you would like people to know about?
So the program has changed over the years, and some people are a little confused as to what the actual investment amount may be. Is it $500,000? Is it $1 million? Is it $600,000? We've even had it at points when it was at $900,000 and $1.8 million. But today, with the Reform and Integrity Act, we have the program set at $800,000 and $1,050,000. Those are the two investment thresholds currently available.
Well, EB5 is really a wonderful way to enter the United States if you have a reason to want to study in the United States or move your family to the United States. EB5 is really the fastest way to get the green card.
So EB5 is the best thing that I can say about this program. This is the fastest and best way to carry your entire family from this country to America. I know that all these people who are doing the EB5 have already been able to make it in Nigeria for themselves. They know how to make it in Nigeria, but they want a plan B or something else for their kids to get to the United States, to get experience, to get a way of living. Their kids will also learn from what is in America and what can they bring here in Nigeria for the country. So that's one of the great advantages of this program.
How do you see the EB5 visa in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question, Debbie. So the way that we see that, so we saw a lot of opportunities in EB5, especially right now we have a new legislation. So investors are very excited about this program, especially all the benefits that this program can bring to our investors, especially in Nigeria. Nigeria is the second biggest EB5 market in Africa. And then a lot of interest here in Nigeria for the EB5 program, and we look forward to sharing more about the latest information about the EB5 program at our event tonight.
Now let us know again, what is the value of the EB5 visa program to Nigerians? Because we are in Nigeria, obviously.
Well, for those Nigerians who want to become a citizen in the United States, the EB5 program is the fastest way to do that. It's an investment program as well as an immigration program, which is important to recognize. People who take advantage of the EB5 program make an investment in the United States into an economic development project. Many of those are represented here with us. And if they meet certain qualifications with regards to job creation with that investment, then they're able to get their green card in the United States, and then if they decide to, move on to citizenship. So it's the fastest way to U.S. residency.
So a lot of things that IIUSA does is for the betterment of the EB5 program. And one of the key missions that IIUSA have is education. We want to educate our investors, make sure you are informed of your process. With informed information, you are able to ask the right questions, you are able to make the right decisions. That's best for your journey, for your immigration to the US. How to do education? One key component of the education, what we do is we analyze data. We get a lot of data, a lot of policy information from the US government. We analyze those information, we produce a lot of reports and a very nice and very good looking chart for you to understand the latest trend of the EB5 program. Today, I'm very excited to share some of the most important updates from the US government in terms of data, and also most important updates of what's going on in EB5 in terms of data. The goal of investors for doing EB5 is to get their legal permanent residency in the US, and EB5 has proven to be one of the most successful and efficient way for investors to do so. Don't trust me, trust the numbers. Since the inception of the EB5 program, there are over 130,000 investors and their family members receive green card using this program. That is not only just the investors, but also the investors' spouse, meaning their wife or husband. And I was told that it's only one wife they can get the green card from one investment. But all of your children, as long as they're under 21 years old, they are able to receive the green card with just one investment that you make. So with this investment, actually a lot of your Nigerian families have used the EB5 program and have received their green cards already. Data tell us that 640 plus investors from Nigeria and their family members have already received their legal permanent residency in the US using the EB5 program. What does it mean? I'm sure our panel discussion will talk more about the benefits of having your green card in the US. But essentially, you are able to work in the country, you are able to travel around in the US, and all of your children can go to public school in the US and enjoy the best education resource that the world can offer. 640 investors and their family members from Nigeria have already received their green cards using the EB5 program. So EB5 has proven to be a very successful path for legal permanent residency. And as I just mentioned, the reason we keep coming back to Nigeria is because Nigeria is such an important market for EB5. In fact, it's the second biggest market in Africa in terms of investors petition filing. So this number shows you how many Nigerian investors have applied for the EB5 program year after year. We saw a big growth between 2018 and 2020. That shows a lot of potentials that we have in this Nigerian market. Now you know about EB5 is a very efficient path for you to get a legal permanent residency, a green card in the US. A lot of investors from Nigeria has trust the EB5 program with their investment. So the last question is, after I make the investment, how soon can I enjoy the benefits? So this is the data that shows you the average processing time for investors to receive the approval for their new, what we call I-526D petition. So after the new law, we saw a lot of improvement for processing times. Right now, the average processing time we are seeing is about 10 to 14 months. So essentially, after you make the investment, after you submit your petition will be processed. On average, again, between 10 to 14 months. It's a huge improvement that we see in the new legislation, one of the biggest opportunity that we saw right now in EB5. And another big opportunity is what we call concurrent filing. And if you have no idea what concurrent filing is, no problem, our panel will share more details about what it means to you.
So straight to it, we know that we're going to have immigration policies in the US because we have like new government. So do you think this new government is actually going to follow through the EB5 program, or what are your thoughts on it basically?
All right, government immigration. I think what most people need to understand is how does government work, right? Immigration is mostly a legislative issue, all right, and that's why even with all the story around, Trump from day one is going to give an executive order, which he can, right? But I don't think that's going to upturn, the laws that are already in place. You're going to need to get into Congress and have some sort of bipartisan commitment and collaboration in reviewing the laws, to suit new realities. However, I'd like to clarify that what Trump had always been talking about are illegal immigrants, people who take advantage of the fact that, maybe they are proximate to America in terms of border, and so they just get into America, right? He's not been talking about people that want to leverage the EB-5 opportunities, which was created by an act of Congress for non-American investors who want to come into America, create jobs in America, who want to contribute to the economic development of America. These are not the people that Trump wants, to push away. These are, in fact, the people he wants to embrace and bring into America. So if there is anything at all, I think his presidency is going to encourage, investor type of immigration. What we can see is maybe adjusted fees or adjusted investment capital to suit, new realities in terms of inflation and all of that. And so that might impact on the capital required, right? But will you have Trump close out on EB-5? It's not going to happen because currently the authorization for EB-5 runs till 2027, and which means that the law will be reviewed in September of 2026, all right? And it's going to be done by Congress, not by Trump.
This program has bipartisan support, and Trump being a businessman, he is thankful to have entrepreneurs bringing their money into the country. This isn't just any money. This money is vetted, and the legal and lawful acquisition of these funds is the most important process of the application. So Trump will not be able to take away from the program, primarily because in 2022 we had what's called long-term reauthorization for the first time in the program, which means it will remain in its current form until 2026.
Under the new administration of President Trump, we all know the only thing that we know about Mr. Trump is that we don't know about him. He's very hard to predict, so it's very hard to tell what he's going to do or not do under his next second term as a president. But we are very optimistic about EB-5 under this presidency because he's a businessman. He understands the business aspect of EB-5, and EB-5 is about legal immigration. So his thing is that he's not a supporter of illegal immigration, but EB-5 is legal. And the best part about EB-5 is not only it brings investment from all over the world to the U.S., something that he loves, but also it creates jobs for American communities.
Are we expecting the EB-5 to actually be here for long in Nigeria? Because obviously we were here last year, and I'm sure we had progress, and now we're here this year.
Yes, EB-5 is not just a transaction, it's really building a relationship. So that's not happening when you just come for a few days and then leave. You have to make a commitment to the country, make a commitment to educate and build that relationship with the people in order to make it work for everybody.
Thank you. The EB in EB-5 stands for employment-based, so it's an employment-based visa. It's different than a tourism visa or a student visa or an H-1B visa where the sponsor is the employer. So EB-5 categories are several. There's EB-1, EB-2, and EB-3. EB-2 and 3 are focused more on people who are bringing technology or special skill sets in medical or other industries to the United States who apply. But for the EB-5, this is an employment-based for those who are able to bring money into the country as an investment and create jobs. So that's how the employment side of it comes about. You are not necessarily bringing in a specific skill set. You are making sure that jobs are being created in the United States.
Rush, what is a regional center? What is the role that a regional center plays in the EB-5 process for an investor?
The Regional Center is an organization that has been formed and approved by the Department of Homeland Security as a regional center in the EB-5 program that can pool investments from investors and put them into a qualifying project. So we sponsor projects that are job creating and offer those projects as a pooled opportunity for each investor. We represent you, the investor, in your process, in your investment. The attorneys will typically represent you on the legal side of things, and Mike will just address that. We represent you on the investment side. It's not just a transaction, it's a relationship. So that relationship lasts throughout your immigration process.
Are we talking about investments in the U.S. government? Is what role actually does the U.S. government play here? And do they offer any guarantees?
Thank you. So that is a common misconception. This is an immigration program and the rules are set by the US government, but the investments are all private investments. This is common for many economic development programs in our country and of course everywhere around the world. The government sets the rules and says that the investments must lead to the creation of jobs, and then it's up to private companies like the ones up here today to create an investment, offer an investment opportunity that qualifies. But you are making an investment with one of the private companies. Similar to the way that our securities regulator acts for investments, our securities regulator has rules about what you need to tell people, how you need to inform people, and how people can actually trade securities. But the securities, the investments themselves are all private. So when the government says it's okay to raise money, they're not saying the investment is good. Likewise, when the Immigration Service or an immigration lawyer tells you that the investment qualifies for the immigration and job creation requirements of the program, it's really important for you to know that neither the lawyer nor the government is saying this is a good and safe investment. That is a private decision, and that's for your analysis. That does not make it any less legitimate. In fact, that's the way it has to happen. You need to look at each of the private investments that are structured in accordance with the government rules to pursue your immigration process.
Musa, I'd like to go to you next. And as long as we're talking about the very basics of EB-5, can you talk to me about the investment, three things, and others may join in after, but three basic elements that make up the EB-5 investment. The investment amount, the job creation, which we talked about, and the source of funds and path of funds, the interest that the U.S. government has in discerning those. Can you speak to that?
The EB-5 is a program that was created in the 90s by the U.S. Senate. When they created the program, the investment amount was $1 million. And then they created the Regional Center Pilot Program and lowered the investment amount at $500,000 if the investment is located in what we call a targeted employment area. It is an area in which the unemployment rate is over 1.5% of the national rate, or a rural area, an area of less than 20,000 residents. In 2019, during the Trump administration, the Department of Homeland Security increased the investment amount to $1.8 million and $900,000 in qualified area. In 2020, I remember 2020, the Congress shut down the program just to reform it. In 2022, that's when they came up with a new program, and the new investment amount became $1,050,000. And if the investment is in a targeted employment area, it becomes $800,000. That's the investment cost.
Source of funds, path of funds.
Yep, the source of funds is actually when an individual is making this EB-5 investment. You don't just use funds, hey, I have this cash, there you go, there's $800,000, I qualify for this program. There are requirements that you have to go through. Yes, you have the money, but you need to show that this money is legitimate. This is how I own this money. Sometimes, for example, as Nigerians, as Africans, I would say, we own a company 100%, and we say, this is my money. I can just use this money and say, this is $800,000, just take care of it. No, the company is an entity. Yourself, you are an individual. You should show the way that, okay, this money came from this company, even though you own it 100%, to you as an individual to make this EB-5 investment. So the source of funds is really something important. It's really the most important part that you have to do, and that's something you will be working with your immigration attorney and any advisors who are going to help you in this process.
Has any of this prompted any questions, or is it all clear? 100%. You got it. One question, sir. Yes.
Thank you. I wanted to know, do you have to work with established businesses in the US, or you can come over and start your own business?
All right, thank you so much for that question. I think that's what Michael was just referring to. But before I answer that question, let me say that there is what's called the O visa and the L visa. Now, for the L visa, this would mean that you're an executive of an international company that is being moved from outside America into America. For the O visa, it's more like an entrepreneur's visa. It is a dual intent visa in the sense that you're coming first as a migrant. Now, note that there are two classes of visa, generally speaking. There are migrant visa and there are immigrant visas. Migrant means you have to go in and come out. Immigrant means my intention is to reside permanently in the United States. Now, the O visa is first a migrant visa but has dual intent, which means at the expiration of 3 years, you can then decide to file for green card. There are no guarantees. Now, coming to EB5. EB5 is a special visa created for investors. As a matter of fact, it's called the Immigrant Investors Program, otherwise known as EB5. And as Michael explained, there are generally two pathways to getting your investment into America for the purpose of EB5. Everything that has been said thus far is like the second option, which is faster, easier, and for all the purposes that they have communicated. Can you as an individual, which is your question, also have direct investment in America and then file for EB5? The answer is yes, but you've got to understand the conditions, the requirements. Remember, it's been said again and again that the EB5 investment is for the purpose of creating jobs in America. But these jobs have to be at least 10 American jobs that are sustained for 2 years. Now let's do a basic mathematics. So if you had gone to America with $1 million, right, and as a matter of fact, that direct investment, the capital required is $1,050,000. So take your $1,050,000. You arrive in America today, the 7th of December. Note that you have to create 10 American jobs. Average American job would be $150,000 per year, right? Depends on the industry. So let's take an average of 150. Now 10 of that would be how much? 1.5 million already. Now to pay that salary for 2 years, that's 3 million. So you begin to see the complexity of this. And you still have to do the accounting, the tax filing of all these people. You need to provide a place to work or whether they work from home and all of that. Instead of that, the government says we can have reputable American organizations that have been vetted by the USCIS, that is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, under the Department of Homeland Security. These companies have been in business. They've tried and tested their model. Some of them have been in business for far longer than even the EB5 program, right? So when you invest through them, if their project is in a targeted employment area, what you require is $800,000. If their project is otherwise situated in, maybe an urban area, you require $1,050,000. Now, bear in mind why this program is better than direct investment. Is, as I said, after you have done your application, which is the I-526, that's been mentioned, and then you eventually got your conditions removed, you can pull your investment and get your entire money back. All right, this is why this option is always the better option. Thank you.